Hello and welcome to Signature Show. I am Vin Martin Obiora Ilo. In 2016, Nimbo, a sleepy town in Enugu State, was in the news for the wrong reasons. The massacre of defenseless citizens by alleged Fulani herdsmen. Again recently, the same Nimbo community is again in the news. The herdsmen struck again. This time they struck a funeral ceremony, and when they were done, 4 people were dead. Today in our program, we will bring you a mini documentary entitled Nimbo, the Day After. Also on the program, in 2019, Judge Uboh was detained for 101 days for accusing the then Central Bank Governor Emefiele of some financial improprieties. In 2024, Emefiele has been going from one court to the other, being accused of financial improprieties. We have Judge Uboh in the studio. Also on our program today, we'll bring you the story of our woman, a mother of 6, who was caught in the crossfire between the police and armed robbers. You will recall that just about a week ago in Enugu, unknown gunmen had shot dead 2 policemen, a development that the governor of the state, Peter Mba, said was unacceptable to the Enugu state government. During that incident, a woman passerby was also gunned down. We'll bring you details of that and many more on your Sunday show, The Signature Show. Don't go away.
When the issues matter and the need to know matters.
The chief of staff of Nigeria couldn't go to his village because it was being occupied by Boko Haram.
Politicians and political parties have massively used money to buy votes and to change the course of electoral direction.
You will also remember the very APC itself set up a Rufai committee recommending structuring doesn't mean anything. Go back to federalism.
Or the fun and the fair to relieve everyday care.
Life is a riddle, my son. The land bled when Uvoranwen was put in shackles. Heaven wept when Saruwiwa was laid to rest.
Everything comes with the Judge Too Funny. Everything comes with who I am.
The Signature Show, your show that matters. On AIT every Sunday at 2 p.m.
Glad to know you're still with us on The Signature Show. Let's bring you our mini documentary, Nimbo Killings, the Day After.
We are at Ugujuru in Nimbo, a community in Uzowani local government area. Deserted homes, empty farmlands is actually what greeted us when we arrived in Ugujuru, where armed herdsmen attacked Nimbo community in Uzowani local government area. It is a tale of devastation, anger, anguish. The story is unbelievable. At this very spot was where the funeral ceremony was being held. Canopies were actually mounted around this area when these armed herdsmen came through from that spot, from that zone, and attacked them. This spot was where one of them died. If you could see, there's still some blood stains right on this spot.
While I was returning, I heard Hausas were shooting in the village. I didn't know what to do. I asked what happened. They told me Fulanis have killed my husband and my grandson. I was running and heard sound of gun. I returned back to inquire what happened. I went to the uncompleted building, and behold, I found my father and my son shot dead.
This spot was where the village head of Igujuru was killed. He ran away from his house and came in right here to hide, only for the armed headsman to come right here and shot at him, and he died right here.
I was sitting right here. That is my room. And all of a sudden, as I just entered the room because I wanted to dress up and go out, I had 3 gunshots right beside my house there. I opened the curtain and I saw these 3 Fulani herdsmen right by that side. That is where they stood and shot the gun that way. And the whole people that were sitting on this canopy scattered. Myself, I ran back towards my neighbor's place. I was following that man because I'm a stranger here. I don't know where to run to. So I was running alongside with him. When we ran down towards that very house there and hid ourselves, not even knowing that same place we were hidden, we are the road they were passing to go back again. It was while they were going back, and I saw that there were 3 of them. It was 2 of them. I stood by the corner of by the wall of that house. There's an uncompleted building there. While the other man stood here with his small grandchild on the hand, and I was holding one other smaller girl. That was when these people arrived, 2 of them by this side, and they shot. The comment I had them made that time, you don't die today. All I was shouting was Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. They now released that gunshot too that killed this man and his grandchild.
We are dying due to hunger. The armed Fulani people, numbering 3, came shooting sporadically. My husband ran out into the farm for safety. One of the herdsmen ran after him while shooting. He eventually fell in the open field and died there. By then, I had already run off for safety.
Around 4 or 5, then the Fulanis surrendered our area. And when he was trying to run away, he was shot. They killed him from his man killed him through gun. And he's now in the mortuary, he's dead. I don't know what to do. Very serious pain. I'm very, very serious in pain right now.
We are on a very large expanse of land. As a matter of fact, if you look behind me, you see some thatched houses. One of those who were killed on this farmland actually ran from his house, trying to escape down to that ditch, but only for him to be killed right at this spot.
What we are witnessing in this community, especially Nimbo, Ibano, Uboh, Iyekoro, Abi, is killings by Fulani herdsmen. We have apprehended 3 kidnappers, but government released them.
There is no love lost between the herders and farmers in Uzowani. They continue to point fingers, each blaming the other for the destruction and devastation. What was once a symbiotic relationship has turned into bitter anguish.
The Fulani herdsmen, when they started ruling their cows to this part of the world, they were friendly. All of a sudden, they changed. They started raping our women in the farm, destroying our farmland, and it was when they started destroying this farmland, they started doing a lot of havoc to our people, that our people now got angry against them.
Reverend Father Casimir Urama was a former parish priest at St. Mary's Catholic Church, Nimbo.
Every Sunday when I come out to celebrate Mass, or in the morning Masses or Sunday Masses, you barely see people, because most of them have gone to Nsukka, others to nearby villages when they were trying to secure their life. And it really, just as I said, affected my ministry, because no person to minister to.
Help us develop our farm projects. You won't see no other place. It's very difficult to say place that's more fertile. If you plant cassava here, you don't need fertilizer. If you do that, it will get rotted because of the fertility of the land. The land is surrounded by water. There's this river that moves from here to Ladambra. That is the boundary point. And so it makes the land to be very fertile. But we don't go there. Have you seen anybody in the farm there? It's only we go around your house to see people cultivated here. When we have land that is being wasted, this is our natural resources. It will affect the whole. You won't talk of hunger in Enugu State. It will affect the whole nation.
While we're shooting this, we just received information from the neighborhood watch here in Uboh that there has been some shooting in Adani community that involved 2 policemen and 2 neighborhood watchmen.
A development that is making more people flee from Nimbo.
I won't leave my house. My tenant is leaving. Please, government should come to our rescue in Nimbo.
When this attack took place, the Enugu State Governor, Peter Mbah, was in Nimbo to reassure the people. Unfortunately, no matter the commitment of a state government, there is a need for an intentional federal government intervention to stem this time bomb that is fast engulfing the southeastern region of Nigeria.
Did you not see people coming up while you were coming? They are from this village, but they run back to other villages. Once it is 5, 6, you won't see anybody around here, except the young ones. How long will they live like this? Should we leave our father's land to where? Because it has been a decimal occurrence. So please, what we need as Nimbo people, I thank God our governor visited us and he gave us a firm promise. Though the past gave us promises and nothing ever happened. There was no impact. Even from the federal, they came with Black Maria 2017 that they were going to convert this place to commercial, help us to have a mechanized commercial building, agricultural projects. Till today, no dime. We don't have any other occupation but farming. We need mechanized farming, at least to clear these bushes around us, so that if enemies are coming, at least we'll be able to be visible. We have enough vigilantes and capable. I'm telling you, if they are well strengthened and equipped as supposed to be.
Behind me is a yam barn. A barn, of course, is a place where farmers store their crops, yam, cocoa yam, and all whatnots for the next farming season. If you look right inside it, it's empty. It has been a tale of destruction and devastation for this community. As a matter of fact, this agrarian community is one that produces millet, maize, and farm produce, in fact. This is what they do. They eat food from what they till. The soil is quite fertile, as far as I know, and this is even much more devastating because it is the month of May, and this is about the time that people are returning to the farm to plant crops and, of course, to eat from it at the end of the day. Nobody is headed towards the farm for fear of attacks by these herdsmen. The implications of this is that there would even be more hunger in the land. Charles Pius, reporting for Signature Television.
In 2019, George Uboh was detained for 101 days for making some allegations against then serving Central Bank Governor Emefiele. Today, Emefiele has been going from one court to the other, being accused of a number of fraudulent and criminal practices while he was Central Bank Governor. Stay back, let's bring that interview with George Uboh. You're welcome, George.
Thank you very much, sir.
Glad to have you again. I'm not sure I've had you on a program in the last 1 or more years.
Yes.
George, in 2019, I remember we spoke, and you were very bitter about how you accused Emefiele, then Central Bank Governor, of infringing on your rights and making it possible that you were detained for 101 days. And I remember that you told me that time, would vindicate you about those accusations. Well, today, since this new government came to power, it has been one trouble after another for Emefiele. Let me take you back, because you started shouting earlier than 2019. What informed, what they even call then as noise making? What informed your position about Emefiele even then?
Well, thank you very much. Good morning. You see, when it comes to fighting corruption, it cannot be sectional. You have to look at the facts, look at the evidence, no matter whose ox is God. Let me remind you, or let me apprise you, Godwin Emefiele is from my hometown, Uboh. Uboh is such a small place that when you trace people, somehow you are related. So I know that we do have some kind of bloodline. Number 5, Godwin Emefiele Street is my property, which is off George Uboh Close. But that, and the reason I'm bringing this to the fore is that I want Nigerians to understand that I am completely detribalized when I'm fighting corruption. When I came after former EFCC chairman Lamode, of course, Nigerians were, oh yeah, a Christian fighting a Muslim, a Delta man fighting a Adamawa man. So along the line, I'm doing all this for Nigerians to know, oh, so he wasn't doing that because of this. This is the kind of person I am. And I got a lot of flack too from Uboh, people from Eka. You are talking a CBN governor, Bego, this is our brother, this quote, this is the position we have, don't rubbish it. Today now, in 2024, when I go home, I'm a hero. But when I'm focused on something, and I pray to God, and I know that the evidence I have is overwhelming, as I say, irrefutable, I keep going, even if you detain me. I know that a day will come. And someone like His Excellency Jolin Yame, I was at Kuje with him when I was detained. So when he heard that, he called me and said, wow, Doc, this life is something else. Because all of them were aware that my detention was full of shenanigans for defamation of character. And the detention is when you are detained, like people that are sentenced, like in his case, 7 years, 12 years. I was detained and held sine die, meaning there was no court date. There was no court date for my bail hearing because it was the Chief Judge Ishak Bello who heard the case and said, come back like in 5 days' time for your bail ruling. That was it. So for me to even fight to come out of that situation was Herculean. Now, after I got the evidence, our normal way, I wrote a letter which can be considered as April Fool's Day, on April 1st, 2019, to Godwin Emefiele. I had evidence regarding forex gains. Nigerians may not be aware. The forex we sell to BDCs in Oka, Lagos, Abuja, Kano, there are gains involved. So at that point in 2019, it stood about $2.5 billion, the gain. So I wrote Godwin Emefiele, the same way in the public interest, please explain. On May 15, 2019, the day he was being, how do you say it now? He went to the Senate for reconfirmation for his second tenure. That was the day police came to my office and arrested me. So, fast forward. For me to have written the same letter to the current CBN governor, captioned litany of fraud allegations were leveled against your predecessor, that is Godwin Emefiele, which led to the detention of our chairman, Dr. George Uboh, for 101 days by your predecessor. So we requested a lot, and he furnished. That is what I don't understand.
What exactly did you... Okay,
so he furnished me all records of the certificate of capital importation infractions concerning MTN and its bankers, to which Standard Chartered Bank. This one alone is the crux of this magazine. $25.6 billion fake or irregularly issued certificates of capital importation.
That is a
to
document.
MTN.
That's a document that enables you to take money out of the
Yes. Now, this case, there was an investigation by DSS. MTN and his bankers were found culpable. That investigative report was sent to Malami, Attorney General then, to act on. He did not. We now, I don't have the document now, wrote a letter to this whistleblower's office. I have the letter here. Dikwa, a good man then, now acknowledged our letter and wrote to Malami's office that we have this document, this investigative report, $25.6 billion. Please investigate and let us know, the collection of the money if you have done so, whatever. They never did. But the unit was 3 days ago. And I stumbled into another document where Malami had written Standard Chartered Bank to remit the money to an account, a CBN. I'm going now to National Assembly for us to open up that case. So that means the $25.6 billion, they had written these banks to remit the funds. So the thing now is going to be, where are the funds? That is for the first one. The second one is all records of forest sales / gains accruing from BDCs in Lagos, Kano, Abuja, and Oka. These ones here too. Then the third one is all records of remittances of crude oil sales into the CBN. That is all.
And now you have all these documents from the central bank governor.
From Cardoso, the new central bank governor.
Okay.
This is what I asked for that led to my detention for 101 days that I got on a silver platter.
A lot of Nigerians, sometimes when you come with these accusations,
yes,
they are so big,
yes,
that a lot of Nigerians even doubt the authenticity and the credibility of your processes.
Yes.
How did you get the information that led you to write the then CBN government?
Well, it's a very good question. I thank Nigerians that in their respective offices or job description find it necessary to contact me and say, my brother, this is what is going on. Even today, I've gotten 2 phone calls. This is what is going on. When I get it, of course, I look at it, investigate. Whatever we have, we now lead you to ask more questions. You may not have everything at once, right? So you now write under freedom of information or whatever, asking for more, but we would have gotten enough lead. So to answer your question, I got information from whistleblowers at the central bank that gave me that information regarding the $2.5 billion gain at that time in 2019 that made me to write the letter.
Now the Cardoso, the present central bank governor,
yes. So look at the date of the letter.
Yes, 6th of November
6th.
2023, has written to you, giving you some documents and some information. So what has he said to you in these letters? Is he confirming those allegations that you were raising even then?
Well, he cannot be an investigator himself.
Yeah.
If all you do as we in the civil society, you're right. And of course, you're writing in the public interest. They have to be trained. He will give it to you. You take it from there. He's not going to say. He cannot say.
I can see some certificates here.
Yes,
that's why I'm asking.
These are the certificates of capital importation I alleged. I'm now have it live.
So these importations.
Yes, was what was used to siphon the money.
Because here I can see Mauritius.
That is what I allege. If I give you, they use safe tax havens, Mauritius, Seychelles, all those companies to open shell accounts. You are very good. So that is, this now puts that final nail on the coffin for me.
And here I'm seeing some that were cancelled.
Yes.
And
what I like about the Cardoso is, you see, everything he sent, CTC, certified. Look at everything he sent. He's got CTC. Okay. He got CTC, yes. So you cannot say, yes. So I commend that man very well.
So now that you have all this, what's the next step?
Well,
Are you heading back to court?
yeah, not just court. I want Nigerians who we didn't believe this in the first place, because you see, when we in the civil society, you cannot be opaque yourself. You cannot hold information and be secretive about, because they can say you are blackmailing. So we want to now let Nigerians know, tada, this is what we've gotten to buttress our allegation in 2019. Let the money be sent to the to the federal government coffers. And 3 days ago now, when I saw that Malami wrote a letter, which I should have brought, it's in the car. I know it's in the car because I'm taking it to the National Assembly today, asking Standard Chartered Bank to remit money to a CBN account. So this is now a web, a maze.
So
that will unravel.
Was he doing something wrong in? Was there anything wrong in Malami asking?
No, there is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong on his face. But if you do not disclose now, you got a letter from Ministry of Finance, whistleblower's office. Please, he is the chief law enforcement officer. Minister of Finance is the chief financial officer, if you want to use that word, of Nigeria. So they can work together. You are the chief law enforcement. You have been asked to do this. So assuming it is in his place to write the letter, no problem. So the person in charge of our money is now saying, let us know where the money is. So we are now going to ask him without prejudice. We're going to summon him. You wrote a letter to Standard Chartered Bank. Please, where is the money? Finish. We are not saying that there's anything wrong. Then there's nothing wrong. I commend him for writing the letter. But where is the money?
You also allege in your George Uboh magazine that Malami, instead of writing in FCC, at some point, for clarifications and pursuance of criminal intents and all that,
he appointed Dr. Adebayo said, the letter is here. See, another thing Malami did.
No, but was there anything wrong?
Yes.
Because I know that Judge, a lot of times the Attorney General's office or the office of the Attorney General appoints independent counsels to handle issues concerning government.
Can I answer you? A report has been done
by the DSS.
Going into the culpability. Sweet report by the DSS. I know one of the people that did the report. Going into the culpability of MTN, all of them. You now, all you need to do is take that report. You have officers there and prepare your charges or whatever and go to court. In getting another lawyer, Tokpa Adebayo, to now come in, it's akin to what he did that made Kemi Adeosun to cry foul. And I talked to the lawyer, Monfreni, in Switzerland. Recall the Abacha loot. Malami appointed, I think, another lawyer to recover Abacha loot, which was asking for $17 million for the lawyers. Monfreni, knowing that this is going to put him in trouble, cried foul from Switzerland and said, no, I have recovered the money for Nigerian government and I have that document. This is what I've charged.
Which is not the 17.
So you cannot use the same caption because it will now be double, because he knows, he's a lawyer, he knows the problem. If a lawyer in Switzerland has recovered money for Nigeria, and you are now using the same narration to engage another lawyer to do recovery that has been recovered, so that means that lawyer didn't do the work. He knows the problem. The lawyer said what Nigeria needs to do is what they call G2G, government to government. Nigerian government to talk to Swiss government. The money is already recovered and bring the money back. So why engage another lawyer to do the same job I have done? He said, I have no problem with Malami engaging a lawyer or lawyers or a team of lawyers, but not to do what I have done.
Let's come back
coming back to this
particular issue.
An investigative report has been done. They've indicted the culprits. So you don't engage another lawyer. What is the lawyer going to do? Reinvestigate again? Prosecute? The matter can now be prosecuted by EFCC. Can be prosecuted by police, any agency that has the requisite mandate. So that engagement of Tokpa Adebayo is suspect. And I challenge you, we're going to talk about it when we get to the National Assembly. Let him come. What did they do? You don't insult our intelligence.
And he was paid 5%.
Yeah, 5%.
For doing that job.
For doing that job. So after you engage him to do the job, now I've turned into the letter where you now wrote for them to return the money. So you are engaging the lawyer to do what? Well, you have written the letter for them to return. So to me, it's oxymoronic.
But Judge, let's be very clear.
Yes.
Was that 5% eventually paid?
I don't know. No, when we do our work, we have enough questions or posers to now invite you.
Yeah,
it is when he's invited. One, why did you engage when investigation has been done? Did you pay this fine? Did you do this? Did you do that? Then
so for now, it's an allegation.
Of course, it's an allegation. Anything is an allegation.
It has not been proved.
You are convicted, it's an allegation.
Okay, because it's important to
it's an allegation. It's an allegation. It is an allegation. Even Emefiele, with everything against him, is still an allegation. He has not been convicted.
Besides the issues you raised with Emefiele, Emefiele has been accused of so many other things.
Right.
He's been in and out of detention.
Right.
And the latest one is an accusation by the EFCC that his central bank had spent 18.96 billion to print 684 million new naira, so to say. Did you stumble on that?
No. I don't
Do
have
you
any,
know much about what has happened with this?
What he spent to print what? That I don't know. What I do have that is beyond this is a 1.4 trillion naira transfer from CBN Reserve Management account that he sent to some banks with questionable narrations, like one of them says Tunde for kitchen, to Baba.
Do you have the document?
I have it in the car. Baba. So it's one of the things I'm taking to National Assembly now. So it is up to him to come and say, who is Tunde for kitchen you sent money to? But in a way, though, I think it's a cryptic message. Because this man is not that, I think he got to a point. I'm not holding brief for him. Because for you to send money and you say, you use the narration, Baba, you send money, you use the narration, Tunde for kitchen. I think indirectly he's indicting some people. So let's see how he explains it.
Details will come up.
Yeah, because it's why would you send money, you caption it, Baba, Tunde for kitchen, and everybody knows who the Tunde that was in charge of the kitchen cabinet was. So maybe it's a cryptic message to say, if I'm going to be sending you this money, let us all of us get jammed up, So
anyway, still his word against whoever. This was in 2019. You're just getting these documents.
In 2024, yeah. And so because now, my allegation then stopped 2019. Now what Cardoso sent me is up to 2021, 22, I believe. So it's still more.
These things continued even after 2019.
Yes, of course it continued. It continued. You have to understand, when I filed my petition to The Hague, I had to give a preamble.
So, sorry, because a lot of our viewers may not know about
The Hague.
The Hague.
Yes.
Why did you go to The Hague?
Very good.
When did you go to The Hague?
Very good.
And
I went to The Hague June 20, 2023, last year. The Hague, when I spoke to lawyers...
When you say Hague, you mean the International Court of
Criminal Court in The Hague.
ICC.
Yes. ICC, yes. Okay. I went there. Because when Nigerians were going through that hardship...
During the money, the Naira...
I spoke to some lawyers in The Hague, my friends. They said, of course, it is within the ambit. If you have the evidence that this Naira redesign has subjected Nigerians to hardship, they say, look at the crime against humanity. I think it's 11 elements. All you need to meet is one. Torture can be mental torture, not physical torture alone. And other inhumane acts, those two, use those two. Inhumane acts. It affected me. Even people in Agbo. So I uploaded 98 videos of what Nigerians were going through. Then I got the Supreme Court judgment, which is the the highest court in Nigeria, so it's not appealable anymore. Where Supreme Court held, where a lot of states took Buhari, the federal government took Buhari to court. The Supreme Court held that Buhari's Naira redesign policy promulgated by Emefiele was undemocratic, autocratic, and subjected millions of Nigerians to hardship and some of them to death. What else do you need? That's all you need. Then the element of knowledge in the Supreme Court judgment is quite robust. They talked about how Buhari was interviewed and Emefiele, so they knew what Nigerians were going through. So you cannot come and say, we didn't know. Buhari was interviewed. Nigerians are suffering. So the issue of knowledge was there. Then since you knew and you kept doing it, the intent prong is met too. In law, you knew Nigerians were suffering. You were adamant. So knowledge is there. Intent is there. They go. But going back to Emefiele's mind, the way I crafted the case, to not look at this man as the trajectory, what happened. That this man came into power as CBN governor. A position that is meant to be non-partisan. And that I challenged the ICC to check all over the world. For a sitting CBN governor to now nurse the ambition to become president. Went to court. He lost. When he lost that ambition, he now unleashed this genocide.
That is your building. That's the impression you.
You know, it's like when you present a case to the jury now. When you are presenting a case, so you are building a case now. That does not mean that you don't have the evidence, but you are building a case. You know, the state of mind of this person now. What he did in Nigeria, his position in Nigeria.
So did you get any relief from the ICC?
No, I mean, ICC, you have to wait now. I mean, it's there already. You know, I've gotten notification from them. So, you know, they even tell you when you file that it takes the process.
So if you knew it was going to take all that time, were you just playing to the gallery?
No.
Because you knew that the processes would continue until Buhari had left office.
No, but it doesn't matter even if I've left office. If crime is committed, the crime is committed. I mean, they're still chasing after Bashir of Sudan. You understand what I'm saying? So you are just asking me now, in 2019, I started accusing Emefiele. How many years did it take me to be vindicated? So we have all the time to wait. The issue is put it in process. With me, time is never an issue because once I know I have what I need to prevail on any matter, I go and I throw it and I wait.
Okay, George, let me ask you.
Yeah.
You ultimately, if you succeed with all this, it's going to save a lot of money for Nigeria.
Yes.
A lot of people are going to be prosecuted and all that. But what do you think we should do to ensure that things like this don't happen anymore?
Very good. Very good question. You know, I have gotten to a point in my life. The issue of blowing whistle is so old now. What I am into, that was why I traveled out of Nigeria for over 3 months. What I want now is solution. Because since the creation of man, you cannot stop a man from thinking dubious, even your own personal business. They will find way to beat the system. It is up to you to tighten up the system. You know, things fall apart. Emefiele the said, since men have learned how to shoot without missing it, have learned how to fly without pitching. So I blame Nigerians too. I give you an example. I'm always in South Africa. I got as a security expert. So pre-World Cup, when you buy things, You get to the airport, you go to the VAT office, you show your receipt, they give you your cash, 14% you paid. After the World Cup, I went to South Africa, got to the VAT office, I did a lot of shopping. I was expecting a good, at least $2,000. I got there, they said, no, they won't give cash anymore. I said, what? They said, some VAT officials were caught with some foreigners who were bringing fake receipts. After they give them the money, they take the receipt to town. They find that these shops don't even exist. So what they now implemented was they give you a debit card, no money, zero balance. They will take the receipt to authenticate in town. Once they finish authenticating, they will load the card. Oh, I said, as a security expert, genius, this is how you block loopholes. Almost fraud-proof system is what we need. And until we do that, they're going to be, no matter how much, you're just going to be finding out. I mean, that is what has been going on now, from this administration to this administration to this administration. So I'm tired of blowing whistle. My whistle is this long now.
You're looking for solutions.
Yeah, solutions.
Solutions.
Yes.
And when you talk about a fraud-proof, fraud-free system in Nigeria, let me ask you something that is not really your forte, but in the process of what you're doing, working with the banks and accusing the central bank, I think it's something you might like to talk about.
Right.
I am of the opinion, and a lot of Nigerians too, of the opinion that as long as our foreign exchange processes, including sale and buying of foreign exchange in the open market, where Judge Uboh can walk in with with 100 million naira and change it to maybe $1 million, and there's no record, there's no documentation, there's no BVN, that no matter what the government does, that the naira will never improve. Do you?
I subscribe to that notion very well. I want to use South Africa as a test case too. In South Africa, you can open a rand account, dollar account. You just transfer naira and rand to dollar, dollar to rand yourself. You don't need to go to any on the street and buy. You are very correct. So, and I think, look, we know what the problem is. It's just to have the willpower, if I may use that word, to cut off what I call unnecessary bottlenecks and middlemen. Why do you need to go to Zone 4 and buy dollar when you're traveling?
Anyway, why I digressed was when you talked about a fraud-proof and all that.
Yeah.
But let's go back. One of the matters that you took a lot of flack to, a lot of Nigerians felt that here he goes again, was the MTN controversy and and all that, including the fine.
That is it.
Yeah.
25%.
So where are we with that on that now?
Well, I just told you that I have a letter Malami wrote Standard Chartered Bank to pay some of the money. So I didn't even know that he had gotten to collection phase. So that is what I talk about, a system that is opaque. We're supposed to know now that you are collecting the money. You see, look, why these people get into trouble is that, look at this man now. And I'm not going to lie to you, I have my picture with the president now. And when I met him, when he was campaigning, that was what I bared my heart. I said, this is what I suffered under Buhari's government. Please, if you do make it to be president, don't hound the civil society. Don't hound activists. It's not going to pay you. Zach, chairman FRS, there was a reportage on him, Jackson Nudi and all of that. I called him about multi-choice and all that. I called him. And he shared the same. He said, Oga George, our number one has said we should not fight reporters. But please, Jackson Nudi's report is not correct. How can multi-choice owe tax more than what they made? I said, that's a good one. I said, but the way you have approached it now is good. Rather than sending police to somebody to detain. That is what we in the civil society don't like. When you are civil, we are civil. It's civil society. And the way at his position he talked to me and everything, and I reached out to Jackson, and that's okay, we can resolve, and that is it. So it is the way you handle these things. When you create a China wall, anybody that writes you or calls you, you send the security operator. That is what I'm, the problem. So to answer your question, which was what again?
Well, I was asking, where are we with the MTN?
Okay. I've answered that. So that is part of this. Yeah, I've answered that. And the MTN thing, what is actually very indicting against Emefiele is that he actually, if you read this magazine, he actually wrote MTN and the bankers to pay over $8 billion. Yeah, that is 25.6 billion is what the report said that they owe. He now reduced it to, because his men are okay, where is the 8 billion now? Now I found out that Malemi was writing them to pay the money. All you need to do is make this look.
Transparent process.
There is a document I brandish for my security side, U.S. Homeland Security. You go to the Homeland Security website, it shows you everything. If I'm to have the opportunity to implement certain solutions, number one thing I would do, and I wrote Nati over this. When George Uboh Whistleblower Network took the initiative, I think in 2017, we wrote all ministries and MDAs, just to see. Nati called us and said, come and pick up. We had boxes of what Nati had, the extractive industry. I was impressed. And they said, but we want to give to you, George Uboh, because we know you could have gone to the website. Everything is there. Make your system transparent. We should know how much you are making. We should know how much you are spending. Snap of the finger. So it is when they start, that is what makes this whole thing suspicious. Somebody can be transparent, be choppy, but because they are transparent, you may not even look at those that I just mentioned an agency now. They may be choppy going there. I don't know. But I said, but the fact is that they have not availed you what you asked for. So you look away. But when you write somebody, they say, go to hell, or even if heaven falls, I'm not giving it to you. It becomes now.
And Judge, let's end our conversation. You've been busy. Yeah, I mean, you said your whistle is too long. It's not really working. So you want solutions. What's taking you? I mean, there's this thing you're doing with the National Assembly. What exactly are you focusing on?
Well, going to court has its merits and demerits. When you enter court, they will say a matter is sub judice, you can't talk about it. So I like National Assembly because the oversight function powers vested upon them to come and do public hearing. Let the public know about it. Now, from there, after that, we can now go to court. But the point is, I want this money to reflect. I want to make sure MTN cannot come. Look, this is a country that removed their president, Zuma, for the state capture inquiry, for money that is not even up to $1 billion. And that MTN, Standard Chartered Bank, these are all companies from South Africa. They come here, I don't mean to sound xenophobic, but let's call a spade a spade. But I don't blame them, because if you don't have enablers here to enable them to do this, they wouldn't.
No, but they've not been found guilty.
I'm not saying they're found guilty.
It's still an allegation.
It's an allegation.
Yeah, they've not been found guilty. Yes, you have come up with documents and all that, but they have not been found guilty.
It's an allegation, but an allegation that is huge, because we still have DSS reports indicting.
No, but don't build on that allegation.
Allegation. It's allegation. If they had been cleared by DSS, I won't be talking now. The allegation is there. They have asked them to refund money. Even the CBN governor has written, the letter is here, refund money. So even if it's allegation, you see, when people say allegation, you can say allegation, but the allegation is overwhelming too, because of the facts germane to the allegation.
So you're changing your style. You want to
see
how the National Assembly can help.
Yes.
In impressing on some of those in authority who are supposed to make this happen.
Yes.
To make it happen.
Yes.
Okay, Judge. On that note, I'd like to thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank you for coming on our show.
Yes.
And to say when you have new evidence.
Yes.
If you have new evidence, please share it with us.
I shall will.
So don't go away. Your show continues. Recently in Enugu, 2 policemen were shot dead by unknown gunmen. In the exchange of fire, trying to arrest the culprits, an innocent passerby, a woman, a mother of 6, was gunned down. We have a report.
As Enugu community grapples with profound grief over the killings of 2 police officers along Presidential Road on the night of Friday, 11th May 2024, little have been mentioned of the other civilians who might have been seen as collateral damage. This is the spot where Mrs. Roslyn Ukamaka Chukwuka met her untimely death. She was few poles to her house after the day's business before she was hit by 3 stray bullets on her chest. The gunshot came from a crossfire between policemen from Uboh police station and armed gunmen whom, according to reports, were dressed in police camouflage. Ukamaka, who served as a chef at a restaurant at the NUG Press Center, Rangers Avenue, Enugu, had closed for the day and headed for home when she met her sudden death. She is leaving behind her husband, Obinna Chukwuka, an artisan, and 6 children aged between 3 and 14 years. Her husband had a routine of always waiting around to accompany his wife home. Unfortunately, that was not the case that fateful Friday night.
I saw many people gathered around that area. Some keke and minibus and people, they are gathered. I saw one guy coming down. I told her, what is happening there? He said that they killed some people there yesterday night. Can they rotate the place? Naya. I saw my wife's cap and her slippers. I jumped inside that gutter. I begin to cry. Say, hi. I went to the state CID there. They told me that I should come back to Uboh police station here. So as I reached there, I saw many people gathered in that police barrack here. I told them that I'm looking for somebody, a woman. So I described the woman, how should the woman be. They took us to Eastern Medical Center. As we went there, they told us and bring those people, those cops out. So I saw my wife. So where the bullet enter inside her body, her chest there. So
while efforts are being made by her husband to recover her body from the Eastern Nigeria Medical Center mortuary, where it was deposited by the police, Chukwuka is appealing to the government to come to his aid as he struggles to ensure his wife gets a befitting burial. The news of Ukamaka's death has come as a shock to her neighbors as well as her colleagues. Ama Emeka Ijoma is Ukamaka's boss at her workplace. He described her as a hard-working lady who was selfless and dedicated to work.
She has been with us for the past 8 months. She comes to work in the morning about 9-10 and leaves here about 8-9. She's one of the best things that ever happened to me. She was in the kitchen. She does everything in the kitchen and keeps the place running till her demise on Friday night.
Her neighbors are appealing for help so that the children she left behind could be well catered for.
So uduki ya me ando wutere m weta ho nwo oge natara ozi. So eberu maka bie mewarum odu no ka azun no m no nwom ka detin me na-ekwu fọni gọọmenti ka ha biko ka ha tinyetụ aka ka azụ ụmụaka because so na ha no onwere ihe ha ma like onwere ihe even that they self na-ekwu onwere ihe ha ma na-akọ
biko etinye aka ka zụọ ụmụaka ha na afọ ebe a nọ ebe a dị ụmụ just nọ n'ebe a na-ama n'echi.
Chukwuka, who says the family is in their need of support and assistance, especially during this difficult time, expressed grief and devastation at the loss of his wife and the impact it has had on their family, while lamenting that coming out from the shock would take a while.
I'm begging the Nigerians and anybody that can help, let them come for my rescue, for my school, for my children and their schools and everything.
He urged relevant authorities to investigate the incident to ensure that the death of his wife does not go in vain, while appealing to well-meaning individuals and organizations to come to his assistance at this very trying time. Attempts by Signature TV to speak to the police PRO in Enugu proved abortive. Though Governor Peter Mbah has placed a 10 million naira bounty on the heads of the killers, vowing that his administration will go after the culprits with every resource at its disposal, the fate of Ukamaka's husband and 6 children is still not certain. It may not be out of place to also give some thought and consideration to how this family could be assisted in the absence of the breadwinner. Justice Ama, reporting for Signature TV News.
Well, that's our report on the fate of the husband of the woman who was gunned down during what you could call a gun battle between the police and hoodlums who had shot 2 policemen in Enugu. And that's the way we end our program today. Don't forget that you can watch this program again or our other programs if you go to signaturetv.org. You can also follow us on our social media handles. I'm Vindicated Ilo in Abuja, Nigeria. Thanks for watching.